Good evening, everyone. Who is ready for some futsal action tonight? North America buzzing with some action today. We've got NFPL conference finals. We've got the Futsal Canadian Championship, which will come to a close tomorrow, their big tournament. It is a big, big day on the continent for futsal. So who wants to tune in? See what we got going on for tonight. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Futsal News Live. Actually live. First time in a little over a month. I know I said I was going to do better this year. So far, I have not. It's okay. We're going to get there. And we're going to make things pretty cool. So, hanging out here with you guys. Just want to see what all we can catch for action tonight. Lots happened in the last few weeks. FCS came to a close, which means I'm a little more available. Working on some things in the background. Always working on some things in the background, it feels like, but more or less we're at a point where this is kind of a break. So giving our production team a break. I'm taking basically a break. Basically reacting to things at this point in time. It's only a couple weeks since the final ended, so cleaning up some loose ends. Seeing what we can do for expansion for next year. You might see announcements from us over the summer fairly quickly. National Showcase coming up in July. A lot of cool stuff going on. But in the meantime, we'll scratch the itch with some other stuff that's going on. So right now, I'm keeping an eye on the NFPL YouTube channel. They had a game earlier today between FFA and Inter Detroit. And FFA won. I guess to be fair, I was paying attention to my kids, not so much the stream during that one. I don't fully understand the playoff structure, but I'm going to try and figure it out. I might just say, hey, we'll figure it out once we see which teams show up at this point. Because it's like a wild card thing where it sounds like the best runner-up from the three conferences will travel out to Detroit to play in a semifinal and final weekend. So the little bit I did catch, it sounds like it'll be a semifinal and final in the same weekend, probably to cut down on some travel costs for, say, the California and Southwest divisions, since it's being hosted in the Midwest this year. I'm really curious to see how that plays out, especially with this California division that's struggled to make games happen at home. Are they going to be able to make that trip to the Midwest? I'm not sure. It's a curious thing. But in the meantime, we're going to enjoy what is going on. And what's going on is those conference finals between the kind of bragging rights of the top two teams from each conference, division, whatever you want to call them. I think we got right now in California, they're live. HBK football and 360 Sala will be playing each other. I kind of need to see. And it looks like HBK is the host of that, so they must have won their tiebreaker on the standings. So that's kind of cool. They had a women's division out there too, but I don't know that it really did what they hoped it would do. Didn't really see much coverage on it. So I'm really not sure what's going on out there, but this California division is, in my eyes, as a viewer, not knowing anything about what's actually going on out there, my eyes as a viewer have really struggled in their first year in front of the camera. So hopefully they've learned some lessons. Hopefully they're ready to make things better in years to come and they stick around. Hey, what's up, David? Welcome to the stream. Welcome in, welcome in. That's awesome. Good to see you. And then that's the other thing. Southwest is in action today too, so we'll keep an eye on that. See when they go live. In the meantime, I'm kind of keeping an eye on this Canadian Futsal Canadian Championship. And tonight on FIFA Plus, for those of you that have a FIFA Plus account, there's a game going on right now. It's a placement game between the Edmonton Drillers and the Halifax Hotspur. I believe this is 5th versus 9th. And then tomorrow will be the big playoff matches. So this game's bringing everything to a close. That game's being, that tournament, excuse me, is being hosted in, I believe, Calgary. Yes. Calgary is hosting that one. Their final, we'll see Sporting Montreal, which is a very good women's team. It's been around for a while. They're going to be facing Saskatoon Green and White. And then on the men's side, it's another Montreal side, whose name you guys know how bad I am with the names. Atletico Gatineau? And then they'll be facing a side from Toronto called 9 de Octubre. So that is actually a rematch of last year. And I believe, if I saw correctly, I believe 9 de Octubre won the first match in the opening day of this tournament. So they got the revenge on last year's finals loss, but now they face them again in the final when it really matters. So it's going to be really cool to see how that all plays out. So that's going to be pretty neat. But in the meantime, the women's division, Edmonton is winning against Halifax 3-0 with about 9.5 to go in the second half. So we'll keep half an eye on that until these other games get rocking and rolling. But sound off in the chat. Tell me what's good in futsal, what you guys are working on, what's exciting. What are you excited for? I know for Americans, winter's coming to a close, so that means so is futsal. But it was an interesting year, so tell me your favorite part or the most interesting part of the year, and let's chat. Let's talk about it. I'm looking forward to summing it all up once the NFPL season is over. It was a very interesting year. A lot of expansion in both U.S. leagues. Some casualties along the way in both leagues. I'm saying a lot. Sorry, guys. I see League One is back over on the East Coast. That's interesting. They're going to be trying to do some summer futsal, so that could be something that keeps us moving. League One and that Superliga that was for a couple years, they've tried to do summer futsal, and it's not worked out for them very well. And they don't ever stream, so I don't know how easy it'll be to follow that. But we'll see. We'll see what we can do. Well, actually, it looks like the time just changed on the Southwest stream on YouTube. So it looks like it's not going to be for another hour. Which is fine. We can focus on the California division. HBK hosting 360 Sala. I just saw HBK was involved in a AMF tournament as well. I don't know if anybody knows anything about that, or if there's any anybody who's experts out that way that knows what's going on. I think they got second place and they're going to Mexico now, if I saw right on Instagram. So that's kind of cool. This will be a good game to watch. Sounds like they've got some quality, and they play both in AMF and in kind of the standard FIFA version of futsal right now too. So that's cool. That's real cool. And then I don't know how this is going to work. I think these two teams are tied on points. I only got to half hear how the playoffs are working for NFPL this year earlier. So I admittedly don't fully understand how the wild card works. I know there's a wild card situation, which sounds like it might just be the best second place team of the three divisions that'll kind of fill out the semifinals, but I didn't get to properly focus and hear what those tiebreakers are like to figure that out. So if anybody knows, let me know. We'll make sure and get it out there to everybody. Ubasuku, what's going on, man? Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, there's a guy that'll know. Yeah, not entirely sure. And it's my fault. I didn't listen well enough. So, don't think I saw anything on the website before, but I haven't looked in a while, to be honest. So, let's see if there's something there now. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Road to the title begins. Okay, let's see. Conference champions. Wildcard race. Okay, so there is a wildcard race. How teams advance. The three conference champions. Okay, so this is what I heard the commentator saying earlier today. So the three conference champions are automatically in, and the wild card will be awarded the conference runner up with the highest total points. Okay. Points from the conference finals play a direct role in determining the wild card. If a conference final ends in a draw, both teams are awarded a point. These points are added to each other's total league points for wild card determination. And then once all points are finalized, total league points will determine the wild card. Okay. And there's some tiebreakers. Pretty standard on that, so that makes sense. Cool. Okay, nice. So I don't know if the way they were talking in the first game, it sounded like the teams that are considered the conference champions are the ones that won during the regular season, correct? So would that mean that Brusa, FFA, and HBK were in already going into today, and now it's just kind of playing to decide who gets that best runner-up? I'm pretty sure that's what that means. Man, this women's match is pretty physical over at the Futsal Canadian Championships. Pretty intense. Okay, cool. So we'll try and watch everything tonight. I'm on East Coast time, so that game being in Arizona, if I remember right, their time zone is different from everybody else out there. So I think that might be why it's an hour later. So we'll see. That's gonna be 11 p.m. my time before it even kicks off. And I'm old. So I don't know if I'm gonna make it, but I'm gonna try. That'll be a really good game if we get to watch it. And I believe these two teams that are about to play in California, I think they tied every time they faced each other, if I remember right. So this also should be a very tight match. All right, looks like we're getting ready to kick off in California, so I'm going to focus on that. Move that there. Kind of over my head, but let's see if we can adjust this a little bit on the fly. That's a little better. Okay. Just like that. I wonder, you know what? We'll do this. Put it down here. That's a little better. I should have done that before the stream started, honestly. Bad streamer. Hopefully volumes are okay, guys. Let me know if something's way off. Turn that down a little bit, see if that helps. Yeah, let me know if I'm blowing your guys' ears out. Yeah, been a fun few weeks. I don't know if you guys saw, so FCS came to a close 2 weekends ago, I believe. Now, yeah, 2 weekends ago now. And then this last week between, like I said, the Canadian Futsal Championships, but also UEFA starting their qualifiers for the World Cup, for the next Futsal World Cup. So we saw the preliminary round for that. I specifically watched Group B, which was England, Northern Ireland, Sweden, and Switzerland. It was hosted in England, but if you guys remember a few years ago, I interviewed Darius Ruhi from Northern Ireland, and he still represents the national team as well as 4 of his teammates. So I kept a close eye on that, and they advanced to the main round, first time in Northern Ireland's history. So really cool, big congratulations to them. And I'm so excited for Darius. He even got on the score sheet, which I remember him joking about in the interview that, you know, his goal tallies were pretty low on the national team, even though he's a pretty prolific goal scorer for his club. So I was glad to see him see success personally as well as a team. So very, very cool. And congratulations to Northern Ireland on their advancement. I thought that was awesome. And I know he's had some personal successes off the court as well. So real big year for him. Congratulations, Darius, if you get to see this. And looking forward to the main round. It's going to be awesome. The crowd at their games were awesome too. Would have liked to have seen England Futsal do they hosted, so they streamed. I would have liked to have seen them do a little better job with the streaming aspect, especially since they were peppering us with commercials the whole time. You're gonna use the viewers for ad revenue. It'd be nice to at least see some effort put into the stream. Quality was okay. I just expected a little bit more for a national team, but I know they've got a very unique situation out there where a private company technically runs their futsal program and then reports to the FA, and there's like this weird funding situation out there in England that doesn't make much sense. So I'm sure they were trying to use that as an opportunity to make a couple bucks to fund their company. But, ooh, big save there from 360. Nice. But yeah, it's just a little disappointing though at the same time. Like, hey, look, if you guys are going to do this and try and run it as a company, let's do it right. Make sure we do it right. It's a nice gym. It looks like it's just shy of full size, kind of like Akron is, or like Wyoming was. The couple games we did do there, the one game we did there. Big save there. HBK still not out of trouble. That one's well high. Sorry, just checking on that Halifax Edmonton game. 4-0 for them. We'll just focus on this. It's like both teams are still trying to get a footing in all of this. Sorry if I'm looking around like crazy, guys. Just getting warmed back up on running the stream and figuring things out. Whoa. Curious to see what the viewership ends up being for this game. I saw several of their regular season games. The viewership was kind of low, but I think that might have just been because some inconsistencies in streams. Maybe people just didn't tune in because they didn't expect it or whatever. I don't know. But I'm really hoping that this continues in a good way. Ooh. Little drama in front of the HBK goal. 360 trying to figure it out. Oh, they've got some Senda kits, huh? I think Senda's from out that way. I can't remember if they're Northern California or Southern California. Quite a battle. Quite a battle so far. And 360 really, and HBK really a back and forth battle so far. Nobody really has definite control. Ooh, big shot there. Nice. Oh, wow. Big shot from HBK there. That big, tall pivot. And strong. Nice turn and shot. Any of you guys are following along and watching along. Oh, there it is. The first goal for 360. Wow. That was a nice play. No replay. That's a shame. That's okay. That's why I like YouTube. You could go back, watch it again. Let's see. Counterattack. Ultimately leads to a kick in, and then they spread the court. Pass to the middle. Classic Pivo versus Fixo battle. Lays it off. Zala makes the run and uses the other team as a shield. Takes the shot. Well placed. Nice little play. Nice little play there from 360. And big battle between these teams. Oh, little temper. I mean, that's a pretty physical challenge, but I don't know that I saw anything weird there. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, big chance for HBK here. Yeah. It's like a tactical foul from 360 there. Just kind of chops out at him, keeps him from getting the shot off. But they're not out of trouble. Oh, nice play from 360. Ooh, one pass too many, it looks like. This is intense. This should be really interesting to see how these playoffs shake out. Whoever qualifies is going to have to travel to the Midwest. A big expense at this level of play. So I'm curious to see from both these divisions, you know, the Southwest and from California, you know, who, you know, is this sustainable? If it is, it's great news for futsal in the US, because maybe we can start to do something bigger than what we currently do. If not, kind of proves we're not ready yet. So that's something that, and when I say we, I mean the futsal community in the United States as a whole. I know that's something that personally for me, I'm not sure we're ready just yet. I'd love to be. I've explored it a couple of times and just can't get any teams from, you know, any particular distance to buy in. I had one team from the Baltimore area that was willing to drive to Lansing for a tournament, but that's one out of countless that I called on to try and see if it was possible. So across the country. It's a couple of years ago, so things have changed, hopefully. But this is gonna be a big ask, especially of these two divisions. And as I've fielded calls from people over the last 2 years from all over the country and conversations about futsal, every area of the country, their perception of travel is different as far as what's too much. And you'd be surprised, you know, the amount of teams that just have zero interest in traveling outside of their backyard. Or maybe you wouldn't be, depending on how ingrained you are in the futsal community right now. But it's a tough ask right now. You know, last summer I looked into doing a ooh, wow. Physical, but not anything there. It looked tougher than it was, I think. Last summer I looked into trying to do a one-day tournament, one of our tour dates in Maryland, and I couldn't even get teams to drive 3 hours for that, whereas, you know, here in the Midwest, that's very normal. So I learned a lot of lessons from that for sure, because I kind of assumed, oh man, we got a few hour radius, anywhere we go of travel, and out there you really don't. So it's going to be interesting to see, you know, how teams handle it, who's ready, who's motivated to take this thing to the next level. Ooh, very nearly the first goal for HBK. That was just wide. Wow. Got the goalkeeper sleeping on that one. Caught him sleeping. I see someone in the... Oh, actually, this is a commentator for the Midwest in the chat in the NFPL game. The winner of this match will clinch a spot at championship weekend in Michigan. Both teams clinch if this match goes into extra time. And Brusa wins their match later tonight. Okay. So... Okay. Interesting. I don't fully understand this, these tiebreakers. And I thought I'd heard in the first stream of the day, and again, for those of you that were here earlier, I sound like a broken record, but I was watching my kids and just had it on in the background, so I wasn't truly watching, to be fair. Ooh, HBK just over the bar. Man, they're knocking on the door. Gotta feel like it's coming. But I thought that they'd said that Futsal Factory was already guaranteed in. So I don't know if they're taking... They showed a table at one point of the teams that made it to the conference final, the 6 teams, and it showed their points from the regular season. So I don't know if they're counting... I don't know if they're counting the points and then adding on the points from this weekend. So that was why FFA was guaranteed in. It has to be. As I'm thinking it out loud. It's curious. And then Inter Detroit lost, but aren't out yet because they're waiting to see what the results are from these other games. So I don't know. Should have taken a screenshot of those standings. Maybe it'd help me understand. Ooh, nice move down the line. Bad pass, though, for HBK. And now... Well, some back and forth, I guess. Your team really controlling the ball yet. Oh, and HBK finds the tying goal. Wow. That was nice. Some patient play from them after nearly getting scored on the other side. There's a breakaway. Player decides to hold up play, let some help come. They get numbers 3-on-2. 2 players for HBK just never came back. And just like that, they get it. 1-1. Luke, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream, my friend. How are you? You were talking crap about us Midwesterners not staying up late. Here I am. Barely. So you're not all wrong. Luke and I were chatting earlier today, and I was talking about how this was past my bedtime. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. HBK on a breakaway. Not out of trouble yet. No! Come on, stream. Stay with me. Ooh, looks like the goalkeeper's down. I didn't see what happened. It was really jumpy. Good. 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 Yeah, Luke, I'm keeping an eye on things. You know, if this stream ends abruptly, you'll know the backstory. A lot of people ask me about the fish tank in the back. I've got a sea urchin in there, and I was cleaning it earlier today, about an hour and a half ago. And me and my sea urchin in there got in a fist fight, and the sea urchin won. I got a little spine to the knuckle while I was scraping some algae. There was some dust in the tank, some sand that got kicked up from me scraping close to the sand bed, and I couldn't see very well, and I'd lost track of where the sea urchin was. Normally I try to be really mindful of where it is so that I don't bump it. And I bumped it through a little dust and sand that was floating in the water, and got a nice little bruise on my knuckle now. Jerk. Oh, Bruce is streaming now, is it? It is. You know what's weird, Luke, is they changed the time on the website to 11 Eastern. You know what? They must be starting the stream early during the warm-ups. Yeah, they are. They're just getting up and running, it looks like. Those of you that are part of the Discord, I talk crap on this. Oh, and I just missed some action in the California game. Something here has got the referees a little unhappy. 2 yellow cards. Wow. 2 yellow cards to the bench of... Who is that? Who's on that side? That's 360. I'm actually really surprised, but they've got the FIFA official for the United States as the 3rd official, so she must be kind of overseeing things, and that might be on purpose. Maybe they expected some of this where they would need some help managing these benches, because she's spending a lot of time with 360 right now, and she came over and pointed out to the floor official that there needed to be some discipline. Sun is still up over here too. I think the Brusa game is streaming right now. Oh yeah, I read that. I thought the West Coast game was going to be last. You know, on their website. Actually, no, I can't even say that. So on their website, Brusa NMFS is 360 coach went nuts after they called a foul. Ah, okay, got it. I actually need to pull the way I have this desktop capturing. I'm screwing you guys up every time I look at something off screen. Let me move a couple of these things to another screen. Oh, there's the goal for 360. Salute to the camera. Wow. Well done. Yeah, I was, what were we even talking about before that? That was quite a sequence there. Ooh, handball. Didn't call it? Looked like he swatted that down. I mean, it didn't look like it was on purpose. He was keeping his balance, but... This is gonna be a good one. But yeah, on the website, Luke, they've got the time for the West Coast game accidentally in Eastern time. So I wonder if that was meant to be 7 local, which maybe led to thinking that was West Coast, making it the last game of the night. But on YouTube, they had it listed at that, and the Brusa game originally were listed at 10 p.m. Eastern, the same kickoff time. And then it randomly changed to 11 after this game started. Yeah, and I gotta apologize to Bruce. So that was the other conversation I never finished talking about, but I kind of talk crap in our Discord, not like trying to talk crap in a mean way, but just like kind of complaining because it looked like they had their camera set up on the floor. Like they've got it just set up on the like minimized stand for the warm-ups, and they did put it up for the regular game, but I'd written it off. I thought it was gonna be a bad stream, so I didn't bother watching the first part of it. And it just so happened to get re-recommended to me later in the night, and I saw that it was a really nice camera angle. I don't love their facility. It seems small, but Bruce is an entertaining team to watch. That Southwest Division overall is pretty entertaining. You know, Gloom, Flagship, Brusa usually tend to like interchange. They trade results often. It's very competitive. So Southwest is always interesting. You know, Bruce are defending champions, but Flagship is a tough opponent. So anything could really happen, to be honest. In fact, let's take a look. Brusa beat Flagship 10-5 and 7-6 back in February in the same weekend. And then Flagship thumped Brusa 9-0 in Albuquerque. But I'm gonna be really honest with you guys, and this is gonna get into something that is kind of a mentality of mine that I you know, maybe people disagree with. I don't know, but I kind of don't care. That game, that 9-0 game that Flagship won against Brusa, was on a really small, compact court that feels like claustrophobic small. And like, to me, those results don't count. That's not on a real futsal court. So results like that, you know, those tournaments that go on all over the country that are just cramming as many teams as possible into a hall or an event center to make money, that are on these small courts. Like, I don't buy into those results. I don't think they're legitimate. But Bruce has played all year on a small court, so I don't know what its size is compared to that place in Albuquerque. But that place in Albuquerque feels on camera crazy tiny. And I can tell Bruce's is small. It's a different facility than they were in last year. Oh, that was a bad kick, and 360 just got away with. It's fortunate. HBK. Oh, good fake. Oh, point blank at the keeper. There it is. The putback. Putback was passed back to the... I don't know if you can call that the far post or the near post. It was all fairly central play, but HBK ties it back up 2-2. Yeah, Luke, the one with the portraits on the wall. Yeah, all that art on the wall. I think Albuquerque was I think Flagship was playing somewhere else. They were playing at some high school for a while. But that particular game, their very last game, was played at that indoor soccer facility that's got like the green court and feels crazy short. The roof must be leaking in this gymnasium in California. I see a guy with a rag that keeps jumping on the court and trying to clean it. I've been through that before. I know how that feels. Have a roof leak and have to, in a facility, and have to stand there and wipe it every 30 seconds or any chance the play goes away. Praying to God a player doesn't hit that puddle. Go flying. HBK on 5 fouls. They got to be careful here for the last 3 minutes or so. Not to give anything away silly. That could be a game changer. Ooh, big save from the 360 keeper. HBK keeping the pressure on, trying to keep the momentum going. This game feels good. It's an entertaining game. Ooh. Nice bit of footwork there from that player from 360. But kept the ball just a little too long. Wonder if they get a shot here. They're really knocking on the door. 360 is over the bar. Over the bar. While we're hanging out, sound off in the chat, guys. Anything you want to talk about? NFPL, FCS, international play that's been going on. UEFA World Cup qualifiers preliminary round was this last week. Canadian Futsal Championship is going on. Lots of cool and interesting things happening. I need to do some videos soon. Haven't done that in a long, long time. We need to get back to that. I think now that the season's over, I can kind of launch several videos here out real quick. Try and get caught back up on some of the happenings. Some of it will be out of date if I do that, but I mean, we probably need to get some content out there and keep this going. I'd like to try and keep this as a community place where people can come and chat and share their honest opinions on things, and me too. And obviously with some stuff related to what I work on outside of the channel, I got to be careful what I say, but my goal is to stay as transparent as possible with you guys outside of sensitive information or things we're working on that aren't quite ready to be announced. But you guys hang out in our Discord channel and chat there as well. That's another good place where you can get some tidbits. Sometimes I just can't help myself and, you know, share something real quick. Oh, man down for 360, but play goes on. He finds the will to live and gets up. Oh, there it is. Oh no, there's a foul there. I thought HBK might have gotten their go-ahead goal for the first time of the game right before half. But instead they get a sixth foul and the goalkeeper looks shaken up. Pulled muscle, it looks like, maybe? I don't know. He's been laying on the ground a lot this game. Remember the Colorado futsal goalkeeper doing that all the time, and it drives me nuts. Is he just kill time in a sport that doesn't kill time? And apparently the cameraman has no interest in capturing this penalty, because we are looking at the opposite end of the court right now. Oh no. Don't tease us, man. Show us the goal. Oh, here he comes. Well, I'm assuming it was a save because it looks like it's a corner kick now. Man, the court must really be leaking. There's now 3 people around the court with rags and towels. Must be getting some serious rain. Missed the PK. Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. Look, I'm like, I guess we're gonna get the 360 goalkeeper's reaction to the PK. It happens. It absolutely happens. It's not a big deal. But it's those moments where, you know, you catch someone sleeping and Everyone's human and it happens. Been in that boat before. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Not easy, the streaming part, that's for sure. I've got it easy. The camera stays still, I stay still, nothing moves. These guys, they're dealing with a little bit of movement, a little bit of. Let's see what's going on the other side. Bruce flagship match looks like the camera's in the tunnel right now. Some Bruce kids coming. Oh, that's cute. Must be sponsors. Little, is that what they call them in England? Or right? Sponsors? Mascots. They call them mascots. Man, it'd be great to figure out a way to make something happen in more parts of the country. Keep growing this stuff. I'm glad to see that this California division figured out a way to make it to the end of the season. I was worried about them in the beginning. A lot of cancellations, a lot of reschedules. There was a lot of missed streams, and I really thought, oh man, this is going down before it even got up. So hopefully we see better. Hopefully they learn from this and can polish it up and attract more fans. Because, I mean, honestly, the amount of fans that are watching this are not... They're just not getting the viewership I thought they would, for sure. I'm really surprised at how low the viewership is in California as a whole. And I'm also really surprised at what the viewership's been for the playoffs so far. It makes you wonder, like, are you competing with... So if I'm a futsal league and I'm thinking about it, who am I competing with that I'm not getting those viewers? Are we getting too far into the outdoor season? We're losing people to UPSL, USL, those kinds of things. Are we losing people to MASL playoffs right now, which are going on? As much as it pains me to say that out loud, because I'm really not a fan of MASL. Yeah, I don't know. It's a curious thing. Like, and then how do you figure that out for sure? Is the other question too. I don't know what the answer to that question is, though. I really don't, because it's a little perplexing to me. Usually your playoffs are can't miss. But we'll see. We'll see if it improves. And then, like, Southwest Division always has a really good following as well. So I bet they'll have pretty big views tonight. They should be starting in about 10 minutes or so. So we'll try and keep an eye on both. I don't know how to... Actually, they're doing their walkouts now. I'm not sure how we want to do that. Because I think for me to try and get both scores up on the screen would make things look really wonky. And I don't want to wonk you guys up. Halftime in California tied 2-2, according to a comment in their chat. Both teams clinch if this match goes into extra time, so that would be interesting. On a positive note for NFPL, streams have been solid tonight. I guess mom and dad got the report card and put down the law. You know, I think though too, Luke, and I think this says a lot about the quality of teams, because it's not just on the court that's important. And I am of course very biased about that now, dealing with teams myself on a regular basis. But you know, the teams that hosted are the most together anyway for this kind of stuff. They're the most organized off the court from each division, in my opinion. You know, I think if you have some different results, like Capital City would have done just fine making sure this stream was good tonight. They've had really solid streams all year round. I think they've been actually the most consistent from a streaming perspective of any team in the NFPL this year. And then probably Gloom as well. And Brusa. I think they've kind of been like your top three, like really knocked it out of the park in my opinion this year with the effort on the streaming side. For different reasons. Like I think Capital City was really impressive to me all around on how well they handled themselves in season number 1. And I got to get a taste of them in our FCS summer events last year, and I had a good feeling that they would do fine. They found the facility, and that's the hardest part. The rest, they did a very nice job, so. Kayleen seems like she's on top of it most of the time. Always had good interactions with her. Yeah, Kayleen's super organized in my opinion. I mean, I didn't interact with her like you did, Luke, obviously, but from what I did see from my time helping in NFPL, I noticed that, you know, she's usually ahead of the game. Very good about planning ahead. And seems to have a good mind for, okay, if we do this, what does it affect? If I do A to get B, how does it affect C? Does it affect it in a negative way or a positive way? Okay, we got to think of something else. Like that kind of mindset. She seems to really like think things through and think about what all it affects in a big picture kind of way. So I was always really impressed with her. You know, there were so many streams. I mean, it's not surprising the teams. If you've been around those teams, like for me in the Midwest, I'm most familiar with the Midwest teams, and the 2 Midwest teams that struggled this year, it's not surprising at all that they struggled with streaming, or that they struggled on the court, or that, you know, there's weird stuff that happens with them that is just like drama kind of things. None of it was surprising to me. It's all very on brand. I don't know the California division at all, so I don't know any of the people out there. I don't know any of the dynamic out there, so I didn't know what to expect from them, but they certainly struggled in year 1. But it's year 1 as well, so give a little grace. A lot of what I saw, I think, you know, the things that Kayleen does, like planning ahead, would have solved. But I think that people take for granted how much work actually goes into streaming a game. And it's not as easy as setting up a camera and pressing live if you don't do the work ahead of time. Now, if you do the work ahead of time, it is that easy. But a lot of teams don't get that part right. They think they just hit record on their phone and it's up. But then you have so many teams that like go rogue. Like that new team in Arizona, Los Unites, or however you say their name. Like I was super unimpressed with them. Their on-court product was fairly bad. Their streaming was almost always on Facebook, which meant like there was no scoreboard, there was no updates. The Facebook viewing experience is really poor, so that makes it hard too. That like it's not very user friendly. So like that was a disappointment, but I didn't see anything ahead of time on them that made me think that they were going to do anything earth-shattering anyway. Just being fully honest, like now that I've been involved at a higher level than I was when I started this channel, my eyes have been open to a lot of stuff, and and a lot of variables that I didn't know about before, and I just start to see things before they. It makes me sound, that gives me way too much credit. I'm gonna end that sentence right there because it's not true. I don't want to give myself that much credit, but I've just noticed some red flags ahead of time. Like, okay, like this doesn't mean this team isn't qualified, but I see some potential issues, and I've seen that with people that have reached out to me to expand, where there's just these big glaring red flags, and sometimes they come multiple red flags at a time, and it's like, yeesh, yeah, I want nothing to do with this at all. And I think that people think that expansion is always good, and it's not. It's not always good. If you expand and someone's not ready, or if you expand and for some reason, you know, it's a bad fit and you didn't do your due diligence ahead of time, like it could be disastrous. Be really disastrous. It could kill a conference. It could kill a league. And in my opinion, I think that the rapid expansion from leagues past, before these leagues, is what's killed them. And I hope that the teams that NFPL found are sustainable and can manage this, and that they prove that process wrong. But that's why you won't see me with FCS really expand outside of the Midwest right now, because I don't think it's sustainable enough that it's worth the risk. There might be teams that can do it. There might be teams out there that can do it, and I acknowledge that and admit that. You know, I think the Southwest Division overall has done fairly well. You know, if you could get Colorado to come back, that's a pretty solid division. It was always really competitive. They did a nice job, you know, trying to bring some quality. I'm not a huge fan of what I've seen from Flagship overall. I think they're a little unorganized, but with help, maybe that's a different situation. But I'm just not entirely sure that every part of this country is ready and raring to go to manage what needs to be managed to get to that next level. And I'm not gonna risk the quality teams and what they've put in on somebody who just wants to be in it for the sake of being in it. It's not the mindset. Got a player down for HBK. Excuse me. As they start things back up. I don't know where they're at on time. It's like the timer didn't get reset, but they just started here recently. And Flagship started the first half with Brusa. And it looks like the commentator from earlier is in the Brusa chat helping explain the playoffs. So Brusa has clinched a championship weekend spot thanks to Futsal Factory winning this evening. New Mexico can clinch with a win tonight. Okay. So again, I don't know what the other results mean. This is a very complicated wildcard scenario because of how tight the race is, and I don't fully understand who and how you qualify up to this point, other than what I'm reading as it's happening. So I'm sorry that I'm not smarter on this, guys, but that's all I know. American sports have a lot of expansion failure stories. Yeah, look at MLS. That's a good example. MLS tried to expand too fast in the early years, almost bankrupted the league, almost destroyed the league. And whatever's going on in this California game, the injury was bad. It's been a couple minutes now that player's been down. It's right over where that wet spot is, too. Yep, it is. He hit the wet spot. I just went back and watched it. An old buddy cleans up the wet spot right after he hits it, but that looks really gruesome. That looks like he stepped right in it. And Ooh, his knee gave out and his leg went sideways. Oh, that's not good. They're finally getting him off the court. Oh my gosh. The worst case scenario with that leak has happened. And there's 2 spots they keep cleaning. And they're in high traffic areas on the court. It's not like it's buried in a corner somewhere. This is this could get even more dangerous. I mean, you get here and you find out about the leak. I've been in these situations before. Like, it's... That guy might be done for the night because that looked bad. What was his number? I mean, this was 3.5 minutes. This was 4 minutes ago. And they're still trying to figure this out. Let's see if we can see this guy's number. I did not see it earlier. He was running backwards. I didn't see the number. Ah, that's brutal. NASL, Luke, you're right. NASL 2, really bad with expansion. NPSL. Is that the semi-pro league, right? NPSL soccer. They just expand and expand and expand and expand and take teams. And they just burn and churn teams. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different conferences across the United States. Now, part of that is they're trying to do, mitigate travel, so they're doing these tight conferences. But I mean, they just like burn through teams like wild, and I don't know how you fix that at that level, because you're at an amateur level. You might not be able to, but that's another one. More divisions coming too. I hope USL does not go down that path. Oh, and I just saw your last messages before, Luke. ACL or MCL for sure. As a ref, do you step in and call an unsafe playing surface? It looks like they're having that conversation now. It looks like they're having that conversation right now, Luke. This game has been paused now for quite some time, and the refs are at center circle. Luke, the one thing that gives me hope with USL is that some teams have recognized what's coming and have like demoted themselves, or not demoted themselves so much as what am I trying to say? They have they've like taken a step back and uncommitted from the USL Championship to take a step down to USL 1. And I think that takes a lot of guts to come out and say, look, we know we're not ready for what USL wants to do. We want to stay involved in USL and stay in good standing. We're going to take a step back and allow someone else who's ready to take our spot when that time comes, and kind of remove ourselves from that. Or better yet, some of them have said, look, we need to take a step back and find out how to fund this thing so that we're ready when that time comes. Our referees are really looking now at the court in the California match. There are 3 spots with towels on the far side of the court. And I know I've seen someone on the near side of the court as well, covering the top of the arc on the camera's right side. Relegated? No, not relegated, Luke, because they've like that's why I want to be careful how I said it. They've not been relegated. They've like made announcements that, hey, we're gonna take a step back. Uh-oh. They're calling the coaches forward. for both teams. Are they going to call this match? Hang on a second. Let's see if we can tune in here. Hang on. I can't hear the conversation. I mean, it's too little too late. Someone's already been hurt, but does it get worse if you keep going is the real big question. They've called the game. They've called the game. I think it's the right decision, guys. I think it's the right decision. The 360 coach isn't happy. He won't even shake hands with the ref, which is a little over the top. But that's game. So that's going to be interesting because they said the winner of this match will clinch a spot at championship weekend in Michigan. Both teams clinch if this match goes into extra time. And Brusa wins their match later tonight. So if this stays a draw, so in theory, the concept behind that is if they draw, that's the point each that would get them to championship playoff. So I'm assuming that whole extra... This is what I don't understand about this playoff structure. So what's the point of extra time? Is it to find a conference champion for the playoffs? Because if each team gets a draw, gets 1 point, is... Did I miss something? Let me go back. Hang on. Let me go back. Maybe I'm talking out my butt. If I were fishing, I would have done the same, especially with the injury. Yeah, I agree, Luke. I agree 100%. Like, I think it must be done. I think it must be done. I mean, it's a shame. And it's kind of awkward. Nobody really knows what to do. But, I mean, someone was just seriously hurt. Seriously hurt. Ay, ay, ay. That's... I mean, you hate to see that happen. I'm going to keep an eye on that game and just see... Like, the fans are even still hanging around. They don't know what to do. Like, oh, we've only been here for, like, 40 minutes. What do we do? But in all seriousness, like, that's a big deal. But so I don't know how this is going to work now because... Okay, here we go. The conference final ends in a draw. After regulation, both teams are awarded a point. These points are added to each team's total league points before wild card determination. So it didn't go to extra time. But it's a draw, right? So it's 1 point each. I hope that player's okay, but that looked really bad. That looked really bad. I'm worried he's not okay. So that's bad news for Inter Detroit because that means that their chances are way slimmer, if at all still. I don't understand this playoff thing at all. I don't know what they've... I'm not even going to try and figure it out. They'll tell us tomorrow. They'll put a post out. We'll know. To me, the wet spots were a known problem. As a coach or a manager, that is on you to delay the game or find a new facility. I know this is hard take. but as a host, you are responsible for the play on your home court. Yeah, Luke, you know, that's the thing that's tricky is in our world, it's not as simple as you go to a soccer park and hey, this wow, here we go. You go to a soccer park and you say, hey, this field's waterlogged. We got to move to another field, or we got to move down the street to a field down the road that isn't being used right now. And it's so hard to find facilities that will fit a futsal game. You know, everybody used to talk about how I like the potential for futsal because of how many facilities there are in the United States. But the reality is at our level, there are not enough facilities to fill the full court size that is required to have a proper futsal game. And I agree with you. Like it's a known problem at the beginning of the game. They had a guy staged in that front row with a towel that was leaking so bad he was hitting it every time the play went away. So it was a known problem, just like you said. It was a serious problem because if you have to wipe it up that often, that's a major leak. That's a big leak to be leaking that quickly that you have to be out there every time the play goes away. So you're right. Oops, I just unplugged my headphones so I can't hear myself anymore. There we go. You either need to delay the game or find a new facility. And I think that probably the only viable option for most people is to delay the game. And it's not ideal, but you've got a week off before the finals. You might just have to say, hey, I'm going to call the gym. You know, can you guys be in town tomorrow for a Sunday game? Can you be in town next week on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday that we can try and squeeze this game in before the semifinals, before creates another issue with, okay, now we got to schedule for Michigan last minute once we figure out whether we're going or not. But you also have more clarity on what the full playoff picture is, so maybe that's not such a big deal because everyone else would have played. I would at least delay and take it up with the facility management. I agree, Luke. That's the right play. I think you have to delay. And those teams, I don't know how close those two teams are to each other as far as geography, but my understanding is that the geography of those teams in that new Northern California region are tight. I think they're all from the San Jose, Sacramento area. So what is happening to me? You can tell it's late here. I'm just slurring words. Player availability may be a struggle with a last minute reschedule, but it's still better than the alternative. And actually, I understand why it got to this point, and we enjoyed the game up to that point, but really, a referee probably needs to force a hard decision from the teams in the league and say, hey, I'm at this facility. It is leaking like mad. Like, we're going to need an arc here in a little bit. And we're going to go 2x2 onto this arc to play this futsal game if we stay here. Like, that's the conversation that needs to be had. Look, I've been in a facility, a very regular facility that has been very reliable. Had his night-night gummies already. I wish I could. My career doesn't allow me to do that, unfortunately. Otherwise, I'd probably be involved in that scene. But anyway, I've been in a facility where, like, a very reliable facility where the majority of youth games are for the regular season in my area. And one day, we came in 7:30 a.m. on a Saturday, and we got games from 8 a.m. until 10 p.m. that day. And facility maintenance had come in overnight to address a leak that we didn't know about that was so significant that they had to tear up some of our floor, our multi-sport floor, because it was leaking under the floor, and they were worried it was going to spread and cause mold issues later down the road. And they had these giant fans. It's a 3-court facility now, not full-size court, little baby courts, but 3-court facility that was going to run from 8 a.m. until 10 p.m. kickoffs, that suddenly you've lost an entire court. and you didn't know about it till 7:30, half an hour before people were supposed to be there. So people are on the road driving to see you already, and that's a tough call. You got to call those team owners of those clubs and say, hey, we got a massive situation here we just walked in on, and you hope for a little grace from those teams and the understanding that, hey, it's a force majeure situation over here and we got a flood. But you got to make that call, though. It's the right thing to do. Ooh, Flagship nearly gets on the board. It's side netting. But yeah, it's that or more people get hurt, and it's those exact situations. You could see the players working around the leaks and focusing on the far side of the court. Like, you could see the way they were making their runs. They were playing narrow on that side, or playing extra wide to get way out on the line to avoid those puddles. But in that situation, you got a player backpedaling. He doesn't see where the puddle is. There's 800 other things to focus on in a game. And unfortunately, we have what we have, which is an injury, what looked like a gruesome injury. So, especially with youth and safety. Yeah, I mean, youth especially. Luke knows this from conversations we've had offline, but I got a soft spot for kids. So, I love the youth side of the game. I love what we do in FCS with Futures. I love supporting the kids, watching how they grow, even from beginning of season to end, let alone over years. I get a lot out of that. It fills my cup. But like, even at the adult level, we got to be, we're not spring chickens anymore at this adult level, even the 20-something-year-olds. And what's to say you're not shortening someone's career? I don't know how old that player was, but let's just say that guy's 22. His career was just shortened because he played in a dangerous situation and got a major injury because of it. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Man, I can't believe Bruce is playing in this court. It is so small. I'm so bummed. They were one of the better teams out there, had things figured out really well, and this is a bit of a step back for them for sure, but this court's way too small. Oh, cameraman got caught sleeping a little bit, but didn't miss anything yet. But whew, some absolute rockets being shot both directions so far in this game. We don't have to talk about the existing games here too, guys. Anything you want to sound off on, check the pinned comment in the chat. Anything futsal you guys want to talk about, bring it up here. Bring up some opinions, some ideas. I'm curious what you guys are thinking about. What's going to get us to that next level from here. Sound off in the chat. Let me know. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I think the streaming factor is big. We got to get it out to the masses. We got to educate people on what's out here and what's possible with futsal. Big save from Bruce there. Wow, that could have been catastrophic for them. Great sequence from Flagship. Rumblings about an official size court in Santa Fe. Look, I've heard that too. I've heard there may be a new facility in the works out there in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And if that happens, that's huge. That's so huge. One distinction I want to make. Someone just commented in the Brusa chat, this court looks tiny. I was literally just saying that. Oh, I'm still a moderator in NFPL apparently. Woo! I'll quit commenting. Yeah, That would be awesome. One thing I want to clarify, because it's something that I think got lost in some of the FCS commentary over the last year and a half, is I heard a lot of people well, not a lot of people. I heard a lot of references to like an official court, and like an actual. Whoa, Coway with a massive goal. That was an absolute rocket ship. Wow, great goal, Coway. Coway's been interviewed on the channel before. He's owner of Brusa, player. Okay, so anyway, what I was saying about official court size, like you can get an official court in these facilities. Now, is it futsal specific? That's the difference. Because I'd heard a handful of people over the last 2 years kind of reference like, well, how come Lansing is the only futsal size, like full futsal size court? And that's actually the wrong statement. It isn't, but it is the only futsal specific court that I'm aware of in the country. So there may be one or two others, but you know, that's a place, you know, everywhere else you go in the world, like look at the games we watched tonight. All 3 games, you're looking at taped lines for our futsal lines to put a futsal court inside these gymnasiums. In Lansing, it's the opposite. It's only futsal lines painted, and you got to tape the volleyball lines. You got to tape the pickleball lines if you want to use that space. You gotta do all that. Basketball, everything. So that's what makes that place unique. But this is where things really get exposed, is like this is a teeny tiny court, and to me, knowing now that the NFPL finals are at Schoolcraft, depending on how they tape that court in that gym at Schoolcraft for their final, it could potentially really expose some teams that have been playing small all year, because they're not going to utilize that full court, and you're going to be able to tell, and they will be punished. Futsal Factory, that place in, I think it's called Saline, where they play, looks to be pretty close, if not a full-size court, 40 by 20. Even though it's not a futsal specific place, it's a full-size court. And I think that they will have a distinct advantage over the other teams, all the other teams, because I don't think any of the other teams played on a full-size court. I think all of them played on a smaller court. That game we were watching in California, those guys are playing on a court that, you know, would be acceptable in FCS, but it's still not full size. It's a little short. And so I'm willing to bet that that all the other team, between the travel, the time change, and the court size, like if for me, if Futsal Factory doesn't win this championship this year, it'll be a massive failure, because they have every advantage. They played properly on a full-size court for all their home games, and none of the other teams did. They're the host, essentially. Because Michigan to Ann Arbor is like, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes, I think, if I remember right. I don't know my Michigan geography perfectly, but I know it's very close. It's practically a home game for them. Futsal courts are like soccer fields. There are tolerances, maximums, and minimums. Also, even is the big leagues, futsal specific line courts are hard to come by. Yeah, Luke, that's true too. Think about Argentina is a really good example. Like, so they do it right in the sense that they make sure their gymnasiums are big enough to fit everybody, but they're permanently painted lines for everything all the time. So you have the basketball court lines you're playing on. There's the volleyball court. But what they do is they color code it in a way that they're inside of each other, so there's distinct playing spaces. Whereas here, like, look at this, like Like this game for Brusa, for example. Like, you can tell the dimensions are bad because you can see the volleyball court lines in yellow. And you can see the basketball court lines in blue. And then the futsal court lines are in this gray or black or whatever that is. And that's what really exposes that this court is way too small. Like, your court dimensions for a basketball court are way smaller. Everybody thinks, oh, we just need to get on a basketball court and play futsal. That's not true. Like, if this is a regulation basketball court, that's only 94 feet long and 50 feet wide, if I remember correctly. So that means this court that Bruce is playing on right now is at best 100 feet. If I had to guess, I bet it's about 100 feet. Way too short, lengthwise. And then widthwise, they've not added much either. So I bet it's not even 60 feet wide. And really, I like our courts to be 65 feet wide instead of 60. Like, I think they need to be wider. And that helps the game, even if you're short on length. If you can get the width a little bigger, it actually helps widen the game at least and make the play feel a little more free-flowing than this like crash bang that we see now with this game. Usually the entire penalty area is behind the baseline in a basketball court. Yeah, if this was a true size, and you'll see, when you go back and look at, say, even Shoreline. Shoreline's in a really massive gym. And even I don't think they're full 40 by 20. They're very, very close. But they're not there. You look at homeschool building for Olay is a little bit short, but not bad. They're very close as well. But they've got a really nice setup. Innovation City in Akron. I wish if we could even add 10 feet to that court, it'd make a huge difference. It's still a little too short for what I'd really like to see. Wyoming High School, for that one game that Midwest played, was way too short and way too narrow. The places where Midwest and Inter Detroit were playing this season were way too small. I mean, it was obvious. It's really, really obvious. Ooh, flagship goalkeeper. Oh, I'm late. I'm like behind the play. How am I so far behind? When did that happen? I want to comment in the chat so bad over there because this is a big pain point for me and for the growth of futsal, but I don't want to because it shows me as a moderator over there, and even though I haven't done anything with NFPL in 2 years, I probably shouldn't comment. That would look really weird, like, oh, one of your moderators is crapping on your court sizes. Like, that'd just be odd. I just assumed they'd kick me out of that already. I wonder if there's a place I can... I won't do it on stream. Luke, is there any way to like recuse your moderator status? Like, can I like remove myself as a moderator from another channel? Gotta figure out how to do that. Oh, I think that's 6 foul for flagship right there. Uh-oh. You know it's late. My fish went to bed about an hour ago. Now you just got a dark tank behind me. Doesn't look as good as my backdrop, does it? Oh, that must be... Okay, so that was a... Oh, I was looking at the Brusa fouls. I'm a dummy. I'm a big dummy. Foul and flagship, that was only their 4th. What is this corner kick setup? I got removed as admin, but chat mod is still in effect. Oh, interesting. I think that's all I was. $97 people watching this stream right now over at NFPL. Not here. We're small. That's by far the best viewership I think that they've seen all year round, so that's good. That's what I expected. Whoops, I'm sorry guys, I keep doing that. Sometimes I forget that I'm screen grabbing that score bug, so I apologize to you guys. These two teams definitely have a ton of history, and they're going to be it's going to be a spicy finish, I think, especially if it stays this tight. We've seen fights, we've seen games canceled, or not canceled, ended early. We've seen all kinds of wild stuff. Man, it is wild to me that Brusa still has AMF logos on some of their kits. I can't imagine. I ran into this over the summer. We had a team that was wearing NFPL logos while they were in our league. Luckily, we caught it during the summer, but like you guys can't do that. You can't represent another league while you're playing in mine. It's one thing if it's a team that, you know, plays outdoor and indoor and they've got an outdoor logo on the sleeve or something. I get that. But that's because to me, that's a different sport. AMF. Yeah, I know, Luke. Those AMF guys are interesting. Every time somebody brings up AMF, I cringe a little. Interesting is a nice way to put it. Yeah, look, I don't even know where to start. AMF is the original futsal. I know. FIFA took over and kind of choked them out or did whatever they did, you know, using money to kind of bury them. But they've just, to me, it seems like they've never evolved with the times. And their events seem like super unorganized, even at a high level. I remember we were interviewing someone from Baltimore that went down to the AMF, you know, World Cup or I think they call it a World Championship for legal reasons or whatever. And they make a big deal about, hey, ours is every year. It's not every 4 years. You know, this is ridiculous. Like, you know, whatever. That part I don't care about, the timing of it. Like, who cares? Is it a World Championship? Yes or no? Great. Good for you guys. But like how their referees were an hour and a half late to the game because of traffic. And it's like, an hour and a half is egregious. Like, and it wasn't like, oh, there was a fatal accident and we couldn't get off the highway. They were sent across town first for another AMF event, and then were expected to make it on time for that game and couldn't. Like, it wasn't physically possible. Like, just planning like that I just don't understand. White pants. Yeah, the referee white pants. Their rules are slightly different. I talked to the guy at Colorado Futsal once. Actually only ever spoken with him 2 or 3 times. But seems like a good guy. And I asked him, you know, what was the differences and what he liked and didn't like. And he goes, he said that he felt the AMF rules slowed the game down and it didn't feel as fast paced or as modern as the FIFA rules. And the game is constantly evolving in both camps. So rules change all the time, but there's certain things that just haven't gone away on that side that kind of have kept the game slow. But what's interesting about that is some of the things that like Ricardinho and Falcao have been advocating for with the new like adaptation of more and more teams using a 5th attacker during games. AMF kind of prevents that from happening a little bit with their rule set. So I'm curious how they feel about all that, you know, compared to AMF. But, or if that's what solves the problem, is adapting some of those rules on the FIFA side, you know, as far as goalkeeper involvement and timing on that and those kinds of things. But I think that the way they've made it is, oh, goal for Flagship. Wow. That was one of the most clumsy and most beautiful goals at the same time. It kept bouncing around, a couple bodies flying. But Flagship's made it 1-1. And I think we have a timeout because nobody's on the court. So it looks like Bruce had called a timeout here for the last couple minutes. But yeah, AMF to me just... I talked to somebody recently who was involved in an AMF tournament, and they sent me some photos, and I mean, I don't know. I'm glad for them that they were successful in this tournament. But like as far as like using that as, I don't know, I have a hard time knowing like how organized was it, because to me, they don't feel very organized, and they make really weird decisions, and they've been caught making really bad hires. If they even hire, like I keep hearing they don't have money, but they will like hire these like regional commissioners to help grow the sport, and they put some really slimy people in place that have bad reputations and have gotten called out for it over the years. And it's like a separate governing body, and then there's separate governing bodies for each country, and I just never really been impressed with what I've seen so far. They got stuck in a loop of it's not fair or we were first. Seems whiny. Yeah. Like if your sales pitch was we were first and not we're better, or here's our value proposition. Like I've never heard a value proposition for AMF. Now, to be fair, I don't talk to really anybody from AMF. I've just talked to teams that have been involved in some of their events. I don't get it. I don't hear enough that impresses me. It's part of the reason I don't cover it on the channel. I mean, it is futsal. It'd be cool to cover more futsal, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too close-minded, which is possible. I see some of the people that are involved in it, and I don't know. It seems weird. It's just a weird organization and how they operate. And some of the decisions they make are interesting. And I mean, I'm all about fake it till you make it to some extent, but I think you also need to be realistic about where you are. And this has been a very tight, very, very tight match in the first half. Very physical. Five fouls to 4 in the waning minute. That's the other thing about small courts. Not to beat this horse to death, or this dead horse to a pulp, but when you play on these tight courts, the game gets very physical very fast because there's no room. There's no room to play freely, so everything immediately is compact and full of traffic and feet. And tensions rise because of that, because you feel players are being sloppy, or you feel like they're chopping at you or playing dirty. And the reality is just there's no room to play. I mean, this is asking a lot of 5 grown men to play on this court, especially as you advance up the court. The game just gets more and more and more crowded as you get closer to the goal. And I believe that's halftime. It must be, because we are getting down from our volleyball stand. Tea break for the cameraman. Oh, pizzas are here. Send one this way, Kayleen. It's too late for me to DoorDash. Everything's closed out here. Hashtag not sponsored. One of the things I really like that they do well out there at Brusa is their youth academy involvement. I love how many kids are always at these games. It's awesome. Some inspiration for the next generation, you know? Pizza. Yeah, I know. I could use a slice. My kids wanted mac and cheese. I got myself something different. And then, of course, my something different shows up at the door. And they want what I got. So I only got about half of my dinner. Little Caesars. Always hot, always ready. Hey, but you know, Luke, nobody, and I mean nobody, out pizzas the Hut. So just remember. I should be saving these lines for when I get sponsored, but I'm going the Pat McAfee way with his little online show that he does that got picked up by ESPN. Maybe eventually I'll just will it into Experience if I get enough few viewers talking about it. We're gonna have to grow a little bit, make that happen, I think. Pizza the Hut. Pizza. Pizza the Hut. Are you, Luke, are you making a shout out to the 1980s classic Spaceballs? Remember Pizza the Hut? Does anyone remember Pizza the Hut? You didn't do that on purpose, did you? Good old Pizza the Hut, who died yesterday because he ate himself to death. I don't think you have this out your way, Luke. My favorite pizza place out here is called Romeo's. It's kind of like, it's a chain, but it's kind of regional to the Midwest. I think. Maybe I'm totally off. I'm pretty sure Romeo's is. Now I'm going to look online and see locations. Let's see. Let's see. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Ohio, Indiana, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Texas. That's kind of random. You do not. I didn't think so. Oh, yes. Such a classic movie, Luke. It's so good. It's so good. Pizza the Hut. Yeah, Romeo's is my favorite. Their sauce is a little more sweet. It's they use like a different tomato that is a little sweeter tomato than most places, which like kind of gives them a little unique taste compared to just say like all the other guys. But I like I like Romeo's for their sauce. I like Pizza Hut for their crust, like the pan pizza. I used to really do a lot of oh, that was weird. Music just randomly jumped. Used to do a lot of Papa John's. And I didn't quit on Papa John's for any of the like drama that came along with him a few years ago. I'd actually kind of quit Papa John's before that because I just got burned out on it. I ate it so damn much that I just like I needed something different. And Romeo's out here. There's one in my town, and it's literally just right across town. And they've got really good garlic bread and really good pizza, and they're reasonably priced. And I ended up back there and just kind of fell back in love with it again. And we got this other kind of local franchise called Antonio's. It's okay. I'm not a huge fan of it, but my wife likes it, so we have that somewhat often. And then, you know, we got our classics. Pizza Hut, Domino's, all those. Idaho pizza. Really? Idaho pizza, huh? Oh, this is cool. It looks like most of the locations are all like really close together, huh? Like they're all kind of in your region over there? And then there's one that got lost over in Twin Falls. Didn't make it with the rest of the group. Idaho pizza. That's cool. It looks like they're all in that Boise area. Pretty tight to that Boise area there. That's neat. I like that. Pizza's one of those things you can start a live stream chat war on. You know, you start ranking them. Start pissing people off. Opinions start to come out. Food gets people fired up in a live stream. Tell you what. I hope everybody stays excited for futsal over the summer. You know, for me, that's when some of my favorite futsal gets played is during the summer, because I really like to follow the Argentinian league. So it's their winter, our summer. So their season's just starting. You got Copa Libertadores coming up in May. That's only a month away now, which is kind of wild to say. You got the UEFA Champions League next month as well. There's a lot of good futsal coming that's in other parts of the world. But also, FCS will be active in the summer again. Not nearly as active as last summer. But we are still doing the... what are the big must-watches for the summer? Well, I think I'm really excited for the National Showcase for FCS. And I'll tell you why. It's because we're already half full. And we haven't even advertised it yet. So that's really cool that people want to be involved to a point that, you know, it's half full already. And actually, it's more than half full to a point that I could run it with the teams I have. And if I grabbed like 2-3 more, that'd be fine. But if I find five more teams, I've got room for 5 more teams before the schedule gets way too congested. But I'm really excited for that National Showcase. I'm really excited for Copa Libertadores. I think that's a must-watch. And it's all streamed on YouTube. You don't need a VPN, all that BS. UEFA Champions League, if you have the UEFA TV app, it is easier. I think you do still need a VPN for that. But I still think it's must watch. I think Champions League action is worth the effort of utilizing a VPN and you know, downloading the app. Like, those games are just really high quality, and I think that I think it's worth it. So definitely keep an eye on that. Copa Lib pumped. Yeah, one of my favorites, Luke, as you know. I think one of your favorites too. So I'm really excited for that. Really easy to watch. Something that's in my time zone, so I don't have to stay up late or get up early to watch it. Like, it's very low effort as a viewer for me to get engaged. So it checks all the boxes for me. You guys probably saw a bit of that Google search as I typed it in through the scoreboard, but the Champions League, yeah, you guys can see it. So Champions League's in Italy this year. So this is the time in Italy right now, 5:59 a.m. So do the math from wherever you're from. That's how many hours behind we are to Italy. So those games will probably be midday for us in the United States, maybe late morning for you, Luke. But it's gonna be really cool. You know, you got Sporting, who is there every year and hasn't had a championship in a long while, but they keep breaking their own record for most appearances in a semifinal. You've got who else you got? You got Palma, who are 3-time back-to-back champions. First time ever done in history. Can they go 4? You've got El Pozo, I think, this year, right? Oh, I gotta quit doing this. Okay, do it over here. Let's see. I think it's El Pozo. No, it's Cartagena. I'm sorry, Cartagena. Cartagena. And then you have Etoile. Oh. You guys know I'm bad at this. You guys already know. Etoile. Yavliz. I'm so bad at that. Imagine watching futsal during the workday. Yeah, for career purposes, I definitely do not do that. No, I'll keep it on and work on stuff, or I'll play it in my car while I'm driving and just listen, and at least listen to the commentary like a radio station. Because I'm on the road a lot for work, but I stay close to home, but I do a lot of driving to different customers and things in my area. So a lot of times I'll just listen. Like today, for the NFPL Midwest playoff, I listened to it. I didn't really watch it. I just listened for the majority of that game until like the last half of the second half. I got to properly watch. Looks like the players are coming back out to the court, so we should be starting the second half here any minute. If Brusa wins, I believe that sends both California teams to the semifinal. From what I can tell. But admittedly, I don't fully understand this playoff structure because I haven't really spent a lot of time around it. So, that's my best guess. From the rough information I do have. All right, referees are back. Players are back. Fans are back in their seats. This is curious. Like, if you're Brusa, what do you do here? I mean, you know you're through. But this is a heated rivalry between these two teams. There's no doubt about it. New Mexico can win, and they go to the final. I'd like to see this camera angle slightly higher. But I know they've got some limited resources in this building. This isn't bad, but I'd like to see like another 2-3 feet and make a huge difference. What is happening?
Playing what a shot now from Jesus Gillen.
I missed a goal because wait. Oh, I just missed it. Okay, I was looking back at what happened, that they were stopping play right after the start of the half, and then they scored. Shoot. Sorry, guys. Sorry. But I think that scoreboard is wrong anyway. I think I missed a goal somewhere because I think I see a couple people in the chat, in the Brusa chat, in the NFPL chat, that are saying that there should be a goal for flagship. I don't remember it, but I've been chatting with you guys instead of paying full attention to the game and looking stuff up instead of focusing. 2-1. Okay, somebody fixed it. Okay, so it is 2-1. I did miss a flagship goal somewhere. Or I don't remember it. And I did address it and I didn't remember it, which might be worse. Holy cow. So I think if Brusa wins, the two California teams go. And I think if New Mexico wins, both the Southwest teams go. Two on Brusa? Yeah, okay, okay, yep, okay. Choo. I was clean, but man, was that a brutal challenge. And it was clean, I think. God, for the love of God, please. I'll look at it again. I'm going backwards here. Callaway gets tangled up, but does get the pass off to a teammate. Teammate right on the arc. I mean, yeah, there's nothing there. Phew. Nice move from Flagship, but bad shot. Flagship taking a couple of shots here, but just not they're not on target. Not testing the keeper yet. And this number 13 for Flagship, I mean, he's looking at the refs whining about every little thing. I don't know how much more of that they're going to take. I mean, he just flubbed the hell out of that shot. And he's looking back, looking for a deflection. I mean, there is no shot that took a deflection. He just... I mean, he might as well have thrown a brick at that, and it would have been more accurate. He would have thrown a brick at the ball while it was flying at him. I mean, I give him credit for trying the volley, but... Ooh, big save for Brusa there. Through traffic. Another big save off the corner. Wow. I don't know who this coach is for Brusa, but he's so animated, it cracks me up. This guy... So, you gotta keep an eye on him on the sidelines. He's the one in the bank. He's a funny dude. As someone who is also very animated and has some wild facial expressions, and I know it, like I know I make some... Oh, Brusa with a quick goal. Hicks Flagship's pocket. And slots it home himself. Wow, that's awesome. Way to go. So Flagship goes for the short rollout and try to start building out of the back. Pressure comes from Brusa right away. And miss hit from number 13 of Flagship. He's trying to collect the ball. He does temporarily, but in that time, a Brusa player comes over and swipes it away. So it's 3-1 Brusa. I was just looking on the roster for Brusa. I wanted to look somebody up, see if they were playing tonight. They have over 40 players on their roster. That's insane. That's actually insane. I can't believe that's allowed. That's a lot of players. Over 40? Holy smokes. Inter Detroit has 39. Wow. Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot. How do you manage a team that way? I wonder if they are swapping players out through the season and the old ones just don't get removed. That's the only thing I can think of to kind of explain that. But even so, huh. Like a Brusa player's down. Hopefully they're okay. Looked like just a collision on a 50-50. Flagship earned themselves a foul, free kick out of it. But it looks like the Brusa player is the one that got the most of the physicality. Interesting. Pardon my yawn there, guys. My fault. Big shot through traffic off that free kick, but not troubling anybody. Flagship had a chance to counter there, but man, Bruce did a real nice job resetting defensively. Nice little bit of footwork there from Flagship, but the pass was bad. Bruce is looking strong. Oh, big save from Flagship. They were in trouble there for a minute. Huh. Flagship trying to work the ball around. Missed a goal. Yeah, Luke, right, like literally right after you left. A goal for Bruce. Nice to have a commentator for Bruce game. Yeah, I'm not really listening to the commentary because I can't play the music in the commentary through the same. I've got them hooked up to the same thing right now, so it's like one or the other, but which sucks. I need to do a better job with it. Uh-oh. What happened here? Where'd the music go? That was weird. But yeah, I just oh, and I missed a flagship goal because I was messing around with the music. Dang it. What was it? High press? Oh, wow. Okay. Nice. Good goal. It's a one-goal game again. Brewster trying to come the other way. Shot doesn't make it through. Now it's flagship. Oh! Flagship nearly ties it up. Holy cow. Nice sequence. Yeah, I kind of got to pick the way I've got I got to change the settings on this. I got to figure out a way to feed myself the commentary and keep the music going. I never think about it until I'm ready to go live, and then it just never gets better, unfortunately. I need to get better. There's a third one for flagship. Whoa, total breakdown from Bruce's defense. And it's the guy that's been complaining the whole game. That's funny. So some high press from flagship. Earns him the ball. And after literally everyone on the team touched the ball, they score and tie it back up. Wow. Flagship again with a chance. They just got ahead for the first time of the game. Oh, they picked up Bruce's pocket in their own third and then punched it home past the keeper. Wow. Okay. Just like that, 4-3 for flagship. I think that's their first lead of the game. A late Easter egg hunt for the goal for the ball there, and now we're off. Looks like they're trying to build out of the back. High press from Brusa. Huh. Because Cali scored first. Yeah, that rocket ship he launched into the roof of the net. You're right, Luke. You're right. Something happened there with the flagship player. He tried to keep the play going after the shot, but just couldn't keep it together, and he goes down. Looks like they're going to help him off. I mean, these guys are throwing everything at it. A lot of pride on the line. These two teams have been fierce competitors with each other for years and years. So you knew it was going to be intense coming into the game. And now you got a 1-goal game in a conference final, I think is what we're calling it. Oh, they picked their pocket again. Is this... Ooh. Wow. Flagship very easily could have gone up by 2 goals there. But luckily the Brusa goalkeeper was ready. Wow. Some counterattack on counterattack on counterattack there. Holy cow. The intensity just keeps going up. I'm telling you, on a small court like this, this could be trouble. I hope it's not. I hope cooler heads prevail, but knowing the history of these teams and knowing that they're playing in a very compact space, this could get a little crazy. Holy cow. This game's far from over, that's for sure. Because even though Bruce is guaranteed through, you know they don't have any quitting them, so this should be really intense. A lot of high press from Flagship. They want an extra insurance goal here, it looks like. Man, how long... High press from Flagship again. They don't have the ball yet, but they sure are keeping the pressure on Brusa so they can't get their footing. Wow, this is crazy. Really good match. Oh, that's gotta be not a foul. Wow. And the Southwest officials are always kind of loose with the whistle. They don't call a ton. That might have just been a 50-50 that looked worse than it was from across the court, and this camera angle's not the best. I feel like it's shorter than it was in the first half, to be honest. Wish they would play in the summer tourney. Yeah. You know, they kind of do their own thing down there, which is fine. You know, I've tried to get certain teams up there, and I don't call anybody out on stream because I'm sure it's legitimate, but you know, there's some that say, well, we've got a youth program in the summer, which I've never seen before, so I don't really know, but I mean, maybe. And then the other ones, they just for some reason aren't interested, which is fine. I've heard a lot of teams, not just Southwest, but a lot of teams I've talked to over the last 2 years that say, you know, we want to be part of something national, and that's their decision to participate in NFPL. As it looks national because of the different divisions, stuff like that. That's important. Like, hey, we want to look like we're part of something big, and those are the exact words. It's like, we want to look like we're part of something national. That's what we want the image to be, and we've created a summer showcase, and we've even deemed it national, and that's not enough. So the other part of it's to travel. I mean, this is what I was talking about earlier in the stream, though, too, is, you know, what this new NFPL format and this expansion that they're going through is going to push teams financially, and I worry that long term it's not good for the sport, because you're going to choke out teams, you're going to kill them. 120 viewing now, that's awesome. 120 viewers live right this second for NFPL right now, which is good. But I worry, because I know that that's a massive expense to put. You know, let's say you have a full roster, 14 players, even if you only have one coach, that's 15 plane tickets, that's, you know, 7 or 8 hotel rooms. Wow, big sequence from Flagship, but they don't get the goal. Big save from Brusa. Yeah, inflation, gas, you know, the whole airport situation right now is pretty screwed up. And a lot of these teams from the Southwest and from California that have a lot of Hispanic people, you know, they got to worry about the current situation, the current political climate, and, you know, am I going to be targeted whether I'm here correctly or not? Am I going to be targeted? It's a scary time to be traveling, let alone the expense. A little confusion on the kick in leads to a little pushy shovey, but 4 seconds on Brusa, so Flagship gets it anyway. Yeah, travel is really hard right now. I'm excited for the national showcase in the summer, though. We're gonna have some new faces there, and I'm really excited for that. I'm really excited for that. And I think there may be, after a conversation I had yesterday, a couple more new faces that may join as well. So I think this is going to be really cool, really great opportunity to bolster the Midwest and continue to build out FCS and own the backyard, which has been my goal. I wanna own the Midwest. I want us to be really firm. I want us to have teams with longevity, and I think that this national showcase we do is a great opportunity to feel people out, but also opens a door so that if people want to travel, if people do want to be a part of national, want a piece of our champions, want a piece of our teams, our elite teams, they've got a chance to do it. This coach for Bruce's. Oh, there's Flagship with another goal. Holy cow. I thought maybe opportunity for a foul against Flagship in that corner, but referees let play go on, and thank goodness they do. It leads to a goal. 5-3. First 2-goal lead for Flagship of the day. Wow, statement game. I can't wait till it's an international showcase. Oh, Luke, that would be awesome. I would love to get there in the next year or two. I would really love to get there. I think it's possible. Especially with some announcements that are coming this summer. I think that once we initiate a couple things that we've been Ooh, big save from Brusa. That was very physical defense from Brusa, but Flagship still got the shot off. Yeah, wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be really cool? The only thing that I worry about, and it's not even a worry, it'd be a good thing, it'd be a good problem, is if we go with it, if we get to a point where we can bring some clubs in from other countries, especially the big countries that do futsal right, we may have to change the format of National Showcase. So right now we do a running clock for the group stages, which I don't like to do. I mean, that really goes against our DNA, but it has to be done for the sake of time constraints to do this event. But if we go, depending on who we were able to bring in, that may be a consideration. Is like, hey, what if we have to rework this because we need to do full games, and how do we do those breaks, and you know, are there days off, all that kind of thing. It's gonna be a lot to figure out. But we're not there yet. We're very far away from that right now. Not so far away that it's not possible, but far enough away that it's not a hurdle we have to jump just yet. So it's something I think I try to plan ahead for and go, okay, well, if we get there and we get these really legitimate international teams that want to come over here and participate with us, what could be their potential concerns? And I can see that being a concern. And then again, the travel situation is hard right now, and you know, crossing borders is really hard right now. Okay, looks like they called a foul on Flagship. This is deep into New Mexico territory here. Interesting set piece setup here from Brusa. Foul count 1-1. I think that is incorrect. I think you're right. I think you're right, Luke. I think that that's incorrect as well. I think that this half's been way too physical for there to have only been 2 fouls. There's been a few plays I've been surprised there hasn't been a foul just because it's looked gnarly, but you know, like in the speed of the moment, I could see them getting called just because they look bad, but there's another foul. Trying to figure out what the heck's going on. It looked like a player went down at mid-court too, but that was off the ball and I didn't see what happened. Yeah, foul count's definitely wrong. I don't think they're updating it. Ooh, stream just got really laggy for me. Let me try refreshing it. I might get an ad for doing this, but nope. And this is intense. If New Mexico wins in enemy territory, that's a big deal. Bruce is hard to beat at home. In fact, they have not lost at home all season. And once again, the cameraman missed some action. Like a timeout.
Number 10 and number 13, number 15 for Newcastle flagship. We have Contreras, Gonzalez, and Gillen.
I was hoping they'd say something about the. No worries. No worries. It's about 6.5 to go. And flagship's up by 2. Man, that would be wild if wonder. I'd have to go back and look at last year too, but I think Bruce went undefeated last year. Now, I think this is indirect. I think they were doing this because the goalkeeper touched the ball twice, but I missed it. I didn't see exactly what happened. I was looking at the stats. Bruce has been working some interesting, I said it earlier, they've been working some interesting set pieces. They've not been effective yet, but there's definitely some interesting runs off the play, some little trickery that they're trying to work on. I haven't gotten to watch enough of the Southwest Division to know if that's normal. Whoa, big goal from Bruce. Wow, that was kind of out of nowhere. One goal game again. Good goal. Yeah, great goal. Great goal. He's trying to get the crowd hyped up. So it is 4-5. Uh-oh. Oh, wow. Big save from Bruce there. That could have been a goal. Player on the back post wide open. Had the Bruce keeper not pushed that away. Uh-oh, a little trouble here for flagship. Big save from the keeper. Hearing Kayleen on stream. Yeah. I'll have to go back and watch this with sound. Wow, look how far up the Bruce coach is. Holy crap. And he's getting a talking to about it. Jeez, he was past half court. That guy is so animated. He's wild. He's absolutely wild. And I'll tell you, Brusso looks flustered. Like, just the look on their faces. mean, this is only a 1-goal game, but they seem to really be flustered. You can see it written on their faces in that last set piece, that last kick in. Timbers won tonight, scored on the last second goal to win against LAFC. Oh, no kidding. I do such a terrible job following MLS these days, but Timbers used to be one of my favorites. And I did see somewhere on Facebook, I got like not an ad, but like a recommended page. And I think they were saying LAFC had like a record worthy streak of no goals allowed, didn't they? Oh, hit the 90-degree bar. Holy cow. Flagship almost got their 2-goal difference back again. That absolutely rattled the whole frame of the goal. Holy cow. Wow. Luke, I just got a glimpse of the in-building scoreboard, and they've only got 2 fouls each showing on theirs. I thought it'd be more than that. I'm surprised there's only 4 fouls in this half. It's been very physical. For the season. Wow. Holy cow. That's incredible. If anyone can do it, the Timbers can do it, baby. Man, there seems to be some serious miscommunication with Brusa the last, I don't know, 10 minutes or so of gameplay time. They don't look themselves. 2-2 foul count. Yeah, I know. I mean, I haven't been counting myself, but it seems low. It's been a very physical game. Nice move down the line. Big save from Flagship. Man, this is going to come down to the wire. Why is Coway not in? That's a good question. I noticed that. He hasn't been in for a minute. I wonder if they're saving him for the last couple minutes to like really high press at the top, kind of create some strength at the top. Unless he got hurt. Nice play. Big save. Wow. Wow. Uh-oh. And Flagship's high press this game, well, both teams have been high pressing a lot. Now we got timeout for Flagship. Man, Brusa looks flustered. You know, with Coway's our top goal scorer too, isn't he? He is. Still not on the court after the timeout. That's interesting. Why not high press? Recovery run is so short. Yeah, that's ooh, that's yep, foul. Just tangled up. And malicious. 3 fouls each. I mean, that's the thing that makes these courts so difficult is it's just sprint, 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 sprint. And it's a shorter space, but because it's shorter, you know, your brain tells you I'm almost there and you want to race to everything. But if you, it keeps the game just like really panicked. There's not a lot of flow, in my opinion, when it's on these short courts. Oh, our camera angle got lower. Whoa, big goal from Bruce. They just tied it. Again, kind of out of nowhere. They just build up, build up, build up, bang. All of a sudden it's there, kabang. That's crazy. Game's been intense. A lot of trash talk, you see. Referee's not happy. Good for him to address that right away. I'm surprised he didn't get a card. There's been a lot of pressure on this game. Sometimes referees, they start blowing whistles or cards faster or more gut reaction because of that, but still no Coway in the game with 2:20 to go. I wonder if we see him come in for the last couple minutes to really put the pressure on Flagship. Create some physical play in their own half. Coway's very strong. I wonder if they're going for speed here with the way that Flagship's been playing. They've been really pushing the counters. Ooh. Nice effort there from them now. Maybe they've opted to go match the speed for speed instead of the power up front, the big strength. Oh, is this danger? Oh, that's gotta be. That's a penalty. That's a penalty. And the Verusa players on the bench are falling over in rage. Oh, that's embarrassing right in front of the camera too. Tries to slam the floor and he trips over his own. Holy smokes. Referee's having a discussion. That's a PK, right? Did that look like a PK to you, Luke? This yellow card. Which, oh, that's that guy's second. Oh. I was wondering why he was walking the other way. So now, Verusa has to play the rest of the half. They either got to play down a man, unless Flagship scores. But worse yet, we've got this PK here. A lot of talking in head games. I can't believe the referees are letting this go. This is the Southwest referees I'm used to. I nip that in the bud, just make it go away. Oh, he whiffed the PK. Man, this Brusa coach, he's on the court, he's up and down the line, he's rarely inside of the area. He's wild. So Brusa get the ball, but yeah, that was so weird, wasn't it, Luke? I can't believe he missed that. I'll be surprised if this Brusa coach gets carded or ejected. He's really, really abusing the third official. Now, Flagship could. I mean, they got a man up. And if they don't score, Bruce has to play the whole half a man down. This is what I would do. You only need a tie to go to Michigan. Yeah, Cowboys back in. You're right, Luke. They're going to want that bigger presence, especially if they're going to have to sit back. They're going to want to lob balls over the top because they're not going to be able to... The announcer? Oh, I'm not listening to him. Is he being wild? I don't know how many players Flagship came with. I can't get a good eye on their bench with the way that the run of play has been since I thought of it. But I'm just curious how many subs they have. I feel like we're seeing a lot of guys putting in long shifts. At least go back and listen to the call to the play right before the stoppage. All right, I will. I'll go back and listen to it. I will. I'll jump back and listen to that. I'm gonna have to figure out a different way to do this. I'm tempted to put in a like an earbud underneath my headphones, and then like play the audio off my phone so that it's not connected to my stream. That'd be a really easy way to not have to worry about it. What's going on now here? A minute and 4 seconds to go. Flagship needs to tie. Only needs to tie to go to Michigan is the wild card. If Brusa wins, both the California teams go. Oh, and Flagship goes for the win instead. Whoa. Interesting decision. I mean, that's a tough call. Do you want the goal-ahead goal? Or do you want to force Brusa to play a man down the whole game and see yourself to Michigan almost guaranteed? Because they're not going to want to press you. Now Brusa's back to full strength for these last 50 seconds. So Flagship winning, making a statement, wanting to be conference champs. I mean, I guess that's the other thing. You want to be conference champs, you want to be the wild card. So I guess that's the only thing I can assume they're thinking is they probably want to. Is that a yellow for? Yeah, yellow for somebody on the flagship bench. Man, for all the shenanigans that have gone on in the all the shenanigans that have gone on the with the Brusa manager. I'm surprised that flagship bench is the one getting a yellow right now, although they've all been yapping too. So I think what this is flagship wants to be conference champs. I'm sure there's a seeding situation where maybe the wild card gets the worst of it. In theory, I don't know how they plan on doing that. If it's by, I'm assuming it's by total points. So I'm sure we'll look at our top 4 seeds. That might have been why, you know what? Now that I think about it, Luke, that might be why the guys at 360 Sala were so frustrated the game got called off at 2-2. Is if they win the conference. You know, they control some destiny. Because otherwise, I don't see why they're frustrated there. But if the tiebreaker is at if the tiebreaker lies in another division like it does, 360 doesn't have a tiebreaker in their favor. They're really relying on Brusa to win. If you're just tuning in, this score is wrong. I'm taking a screenshot grab from the live stream score bug, and they've not updated it. Flagship's actually up 6-5. And they're currently running out the clock in the corner. But now the clock's not running. And a yellow card for number 10. I'm assuming for... Oh! I'm assuming that's for encroaching. Four seconds. Ooh, keeper bottles that one on the pass. Oh, and flagship about to... Flagship wins. Wow. Oh, and a punch. Oh my gosh, we got a punch thrown. What in the world? I told you this would break down. Don't follow it, cameraman. Don't follow it. Don't put it on. Well, you probably want to so it can be reviewed. That is terrible. It's always flagship. I mean, they won. They won. Why? I don't understand. Red card to the guy that threw the punch, of course. No brainer. I can see that through the crowd. What an idiot. Now he can't go to the... now he's not in the semifinal. So now... this coach for flagship's got to decide. First of all, it's pathetic. It shouldn't happen. These flagship players are a joke, man. This happens all the time. And now I think the guy that's the announcer is like on the court as well. We got a guy in a boot getting out there and talking crap. What in the world? Here, let's see. I'm just going to turn on. This happened 2 years ago. Remember when this happened? Was it 2 years ago or 3 years ago? I mean... it's always flagship. It's always flagship. It's just so weird to me. What a bizarre culture they have that they think that's okay. Brusa player was kind of high-fiving, and the New Mexico player thought he was punching him, so New Mexico player threw a punch. I mean, that's just a wild decision. Aw. I mean, if you, Luke, do you remember, I think it was 2 years ago? And I think that when they had a fight, this was before they could participate in the, like a full NFPL championship because their season started later than everybody else's. And I think that, what's going on now? How's this guy still on the court? Wasn't number 15 the one that threw the punch? I saw that, Luke. That was really cute. But remember, this happened last year where there was like a bunch of, like, there's a big kerfuffle in the last several minutes, and Flagship was getting the break speed off of them. So the refs just had to call the game. Oh, they ended the stream. That's interesting. I wouldn't have done that. I would want this all recorded. I mean, I guess you don't want the general public to see this going wrong, but at the same time. All right, I'm going back to look at this. Oh, I missed it. I missed it. Okay, hang on. All right, so this happens right in front of the camera. So he celebrates with his teammates. Oh, man. I don't think there's enough there to justify that. That's for sure. I mean, you can't justify it anyway, but you can't even...
Seconds on the clock.
Let's look again.
It's a last ditch attempt now. Wilson.
Oh, I'm a little too far back. Okay, that's all right. So the game comes to a close.
And the game is over.
Wait, Luke, something happens before that. Something happens before that. He's coming out to celebrate. And for some reason, it keeps taking me way back. I keep missing the mark. So game ends. Here, let's do this. Whoa. Whoops. I screwed that all up. Okay. So the game ends. They start to celebrate. Number 27 of Flagship, who's the one that threw the punch. He goes to run and celebrate with his team, and he runs right in front of a Brusa player. I mean, right in front of him. And when he does... the Brusa player does put a hand in his face, almost like he's trying to smack him as he goes by. Like, it's nothing, but it's something. Hang on, let me look again. Game ends. And ends on a hard foul, too. Okay. Oh, shoot. Okay. So the third official's head is kind of in the way because his camera angle is way too low. But he kind of puts his hand up in his face. Yeah, that's and it, I don't like that at all. It looks like the Brusa player may have instigated it, but you still cannot throw a punch. You can't do it. You absolutely cannot do it. That's crazy. That's a crazy escalation to that level. Brusa player body language looks not aggressive. I think it was a misunderstanding. It might have been, you know, Luke, that flagship player comes jumping in. He jumps right in front of the Brusa player. I mean, no room for error there, or he would have like been on the guy's shoulders. I think he was looking for a reason, because he literally, Brusa player's walking this way, this guy's jumping, and they end up here. And then I see an arm extend from the Brusa player, but it's like out to the side. And he's jumping through, and it looks like he was trying to like force contact. I do not. I think I've said this on stream before. I'm not a big fan of flagship. Their players, like, there's a serious attitude issue there that I don't understand. I've seen the way that they act when they lose big games like that, and it's just like, I don't know. And then they just are like really arrogant off court in the way that they treat people. Some of it could be a language barrier, but I don't like. I don't know. I think there's something to be said for the tone of things, and I don't know. I just don't get a good vibe from them at all. It's just weird. I know that their team owner has come in here a few times and chatted, and it's always been very cordial. But other places I've run into him, and other stories I've heard from other people, I don't know. I get a weird feeling from the guy. Get a really weird feeling from the guy. And his club just doesn't represent New Mexico very well, in my opinion. Well, that's a shame. That should have been a big moment for flagship. I mean, I can't remember the last time. Oh, my dog just shook underneath the table and rattled a bunch of stuff. It weirded me out for a second. I don't understand. Like, that should have been a big moment for you, because the Brusa hasn't lost at home in a long time. Definitely not this season. Take your win, get out of town. You're going to Michigan. Congratulations. Like, why do that? And now, like, you've created a problem for your team. Now the coach has to decide, are you worth taking to a semi? Like, are you worth paying a plane ticket for, that I have to win the first game for you to even play? Like, that's an interesting situation to be in. Like, and the fact that that's a thrown punch, the guy shouldn't be eligible for the finals at all, in my opinion. I would give that guy a multi-game suspension, and I would say don't come to Michigan. Don't even come. We don't even want you in the building. I mean, it's got to be harsh, because that's completely unacceptable. I'd do at least a 3-game ban, possibly expulsion from the league entirely, if I was in their shoes. I'd consider expulsion from the league entirely on that. I would want to make that decision in the offseason. I'd say, hey, first things first, he's not playing again for the playoffs. So let's just get that straight. And it's under review. And I would discuss it with, whoever's involved in the league that has any decision-making power. Let's all get together. Let's look at this. But for me, that is clear assault, like, right on camera. That guy can't be in the league anymore. That would be my take, and then I would make somebody else in the league make me walk that back. That'd be my stance. But I'd say that guy can't play in our league anymore. And I would very strongly encourage that to be the case. I would die by that and say this is my full take. And I think this person can't be back. They're too big a liability to themselves and to the people around them. Wow. What a shame. That should have been a highlight night, and that player just ruined it, not only for himself, but for the team. I mean, he just ruined his whole team's celebration at the end of the game. Like, what a insanely selfish thing to do, and completely unprofessional. Damn. You got to consider the optics. Such a bad look to the fans and other teams. Got to do the right thing for all teams and fans. And Luke, you know the biggest thing about that is we talked about it at halftime, how exciting it is to see, like, particularly at Brusa games, how many kids. I know friend of the channel, David Fresquez at Gloom, you know, he's real big on the community attachment. And when you have a team like Flagship that has multiple instances of violence, you know, how do you even, I mean, how do you even do that? How do you even keep that going at that point? Like, I don't understand how teams like that stick around. Cadence out of Chicago was the same problem for years. Like, they're just constantly starting fights, constantly doing things that are unprofessional, just all the damn time. And I do not understand. Like, it is not, you cannot think of the quantity of teams. You have to think of the quality of teams, and it's not enough. It's not enough to talk about their quality on the court. Like, it has to be about how they behave, what their culture is, and if they don't progressively try and fix it, then why are they here? And I don't see Flagship making big enough steps towards improving that to justify playing at this level. They're kind of just thugs in those big games. They spoil big games. It's a shame. That's all I can really say about it. That player just absolutely ruined the night for literally everyone. All those kids that were there that wanted to be on the court with their favorite players. Now their parents can't feel safe about them being out there. What if something else happens? Stupid. Absolutely stupid. Should be embarrassed. If that was on if I ran that team, if I ran a team and that happened, like, you would not see me in the same place as you saw that coach. Like, I wouldn't just be standing in the middle, like, trying to diffuse the situation. I would be running that guy out of the building. My own player. I'd be running him out of the building. Hey, find a ride home. You're not coming home with me. You're off this team for good. That guy'd be off my team like that. And the reality is there were probably red flags that that guy's that way before that happened. That should tell you that he's the wrong culture to build a club. Those are the kind of people that kill clubs, is allowing people like that to stay around. You gotta root those people out. Have to. And if I were the league, I'd strongly consider removing that guy for good. He's going to destroy everything that's good about what you're trying to build. So that's a pretty big soapbox. But I feel really passionately about that. I mean, there's been situations where I've been harsh on violence on the court, and I've had it walked back. There's been times that I've disagreed with harsher sentences on players, depending on the situation. But for the most part, like, when it comes to something like that, like, it's undeniable. Like, at the very least, if you don't kick that guy out of the league, there's got to be a pretty significant fine against Flagship. There should still be a multi-game ban. It can't only be one game for sure. Undeniable. And you probably need to either eject the guy from the league entirely or have a really, really big fine. You want this guy that bad? Pay for him to be here. And until you do, he's not welcome back. And if it's not done in an appropriate time period, he's not welcome back. Like, put a deadline on it. Everything. Fine has to be paid by this date. You know, they got 2 weeks till their finals. So say, okay, you know, that guy wants to stay in the league. Well, he's not playing anymore in the playoffs. If you want him back next year, you got to pay the league this fine by May 1st. By the end of the season. That's how you handle it. Otherwise, that'll continue to happen, and it'll continue to stunt your growth as a league. As a sport. That hurts our sport as a whole. Not just NFPL. That hurts everybody. Takes away legitimacy. Robs moments from kids and parents and players. It's terrible. Well, I'm sorry that it ended on such a sour note, but I am glad we got to do that tonight and do a little watch party. I saw a few people jump in the beginning, which was cool, that I haven't seen in a while. Get in the chat with Luke in the chat. Normally we have him on the screen, but I kind of quick rigged this and just kind of did it last minute. So next time we'll try and get him on screen. But anyway, I appreciate all you guys so much for doing this. Those of you that tuned in, if you're catching the replay later, I hope you have fun with our takes. I should hopefully, I'm not going to promise anything because life's been absolutely insane, but I should hopefully be able to do some videos soon. I'd like to review the FCS season. I'd like to preview the Final Four for the Champions League. I'd like to potentially cover this Canadian Futsal Championship a little bit. So there's some things I want to try and do that could be some instant videos. So if you guys have any ideas on videos, share it in our Discord. If you guys want to join our Discord to get live stream links to futsal games, we share them all there. It's where we kind of base our community. And we also share other really good futsal communities there that you should be a part of if you're looking for some interaction. It's a little more frequent than what our Discord community does. A lot of good stuff going on. So thank you guys all for tuning in. I will see you guys soon. And as always, don't forget to play with your soul.